Hi, this is Alan with Alan's Firearms for another adventure into firearms. We are also not going to be talking about pistols this time. We are going to be talking about a very iconic firearm. It was used in World War II and long afterwards. It is the M1 carbine. You can easily recognize it from its silhouette. It's one of the most popularly used firearms in all of the World War II war movies and in the TV show Combat and a lot of others. The M1 carbine has become, though you can get them pretty readily, inexpensively, the collectors who collect these, the real war replicas, go all the way up in the thousands. Mark has a beautiful collection of these. And now, Mark Sasasimo. Come on, Mark.
Taking the time to view our video of the M1 carbine. The M1 carbine, as Alan mentioned, used faithfully and born into World War II, was also used in the Korean War, started off the Vietnam War along with other arms that the U.S. had, and faithfully used throughout the world by the French Foreign Legion up until a couple of years ago, about 2008, 2009, when it was finally phased out. And up to that point, from 0 to 100 yards, one of the most deadliest, accurate, and effective weapons to that point. The carbine I'm holding right now happens to be what they call a post-war pot-belly stock. It is an Underwood carbine. There were several contractors that produced this gun, and all of them were tooled up the same way so that all the parts were interchangeable. This one, being a pot-belly stock, also has a cutout right here for the selector switch for auto and semi-auto. After this this brief introduction, we'll take some time to sit down at the table and tell you what makes this baby tick. Okay, folks, here's a close-up view of the .30 caliber USGI M1 carbine. This is the slide side. I won't go into right now how many variations there are between the high wood, the low wood, but here's the basic gun. Let me turn it over on the other side. This would be the sling well. This up here is the back of the barrel band combination bayonet lug. The sling goes through here, comes down along the side of the gun, goes into the sling well, around the oiler, back out, and then snaps into the sling. Now, disassembly on the M1 carbine is pretty simple. This barrel band right here has a spring-loaded tab in it. So you just simply press down the spring-loaded tab here, and that will slide the barrel band forward. But first, release the tension on the screw holding the barrel band. Now, cradle the arm, cradle the gun like this. Place your thumb on the bottom of the bayonet lug. Press in the spring-loaded tab and push the bayonet lug forward, sliding it towards the front of the barrel. Once you do this, you'll see this play here. Now, this is the hand guard. Once you've done this, you're allowing the hand guard to be free. Lift up on the front of the hand guard, slide it forward, lift it off of the gun. Now, just cradle the back of the gun, take the front of the receiver in your hand and lift up, and the receiver comes right out of the gun. And this is exposing the trigger housing, the slide spring. And what we do next to release this is, and this pin just fell out actually, but this pin holds the trigger housing in, and what you do is let this pin come out, the trigger housing comes free, slide it back, and there you have the trigger housing of the M1 carbine. This one happens to have the hammer in the cocked back position. I'm going to pull the trigger and slide it forward. Now, we've got the barreled receiver with the slide still attached. The slide removal is pretty easy. The spring that comes out from the forward of the slide, from the housing rather here, I'm sorry, the receiver housing, just pull back on this and hold on to it or you'll send it straight across the room. Just pull back on it and just pull it out a little bit, but hang on to it and it releases. You'll see that the spring has a pin inside of it to steady it while it goes into the receiver. Now that you've got that off, you've got the bolt right here, the edge of the bolt, the knob of the bolt, is into the slide itself. And here's the slide right here. There's two slots right here, one on either side, that have to be matched up with a toggle on the slide. You simply slip that back there and just gently wiggle the slide till it breaks free of the bolt, and then the slide will pop off the gun. So now you've got your slide off, you've got your spring out. Now, the last part we have to take off is the bolt. Very simple. Take the bolt, slide it forward, then you'll find a spot where it just pull up on it, and then as the bolt angles up like this, you slide it a little bit until you just find the spot where it wants to come out of the housing. And there it is. This happens to be a round bolt. This is a round bolt. They also have flat bolts, which were earlier. They have a flat top to them. So you set your bolt down. Now you've got your barreled receiver with your bayonet lug attached. The bayonet lug can come off only when you use a front sight tool to remove the front sight. There's a pin back here, a keyway back here, and then the front tool will be used to pull this off. Then the barrel band and bayonet lug combination will come off. This is actually a later version. The early barrel bands were just the barrel bands themselves, okay, and then the version before that was about half as thick. So this is the third version of the bayonet lug, or the barrel band with the bayonet lug attached. Okay, so rather than get into the small intricate parts right now, which would be sort of like a part due, let me just show you just quickly how to put the M1 carbine back together once you've broken it down to this level. Okay, so let's just kind of go in reverse, okay? Here's your barreled receiver, okay? The last thing we took out was our bolt. So the bolt, you want to just slip into the rear half. You'll see this little slot here. Just slip it right down here and just give it a wiggle and wait till the bolt kind of fits back into the slot to where you can push it forward and backward just like this. Now, it needs to be somewhere right about here. You'll get a feel for this as you do this more and more. It's going to be about halfway down. What you do is take your slide, sit your slide up onto that tab, that little tab that's on the bolt. And then you'll see the spot where the slide notches into the barreled receiver. Now slide it all the way back. Make sure your slide is in. Take the spring that you removed. Slide the slide forward. Put the spring in the hole. Remember, this is under spring pressure, so don't let go of it. Move forward. Put it right back in the hole in the slide. And then just double check this to make sure you've got it okay, that everything is locked in. Take your trigger housing, push the hammer in the back position, take the trigger housing and put it in the slot, slide it forward until the hole lines up here in the front. Take the pin, place it in the hole underneath. The reason that you go underneath is there's two sides of this hole. One of them actually has a larger hole in it for the head of the pin. All right, so now we've got it all reassembled. We've got our trigger housing reassembled into the barreled receiver. We're going to pick up our stock, take the barreled receiver, angle it so that the back tab goes into the recoil pad here. Drop it into the gun, put the handguard on. We've just put the handguard back on. We've just put the handguard right here. It has a little metal tab you can see on the edge of it. And we've just put the metal tab back into the front of the receiver. Now, we're going to take our hand, put it over here, cradle the forearm right here with the handguard, and then just press down with the tip of your finger on that little metal spring-loaded tab so that you can slip the barrel band over it. Now we're just going to set it down, take the screwdriver, and tighten up the screw on the barrel band, and voila, you've got your carbine all back together. pull it back, load it, and there you go. That is the M1 carbine disassembly, reassembly instructions. And stay tuned, because we might go further and show you how to break down the entire trigger housing and get down to screws and springs. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed it.